excited as I am to celebrate my 1 year anniversary. I want to say milestone, but it's also a milestone on YouTube. Well, if you are, thank you. You're in a great company. And if you're not, well, too bad. But I hope you stick around to hear what I have to say. And welcome to Evolve with Natu. In this channel, we talk about a lot of things, but specifically on self-development, self-improvement, whichever way you want to spin it. So in today's episode, we're going to be particularly talking about my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. So focusing on the highs, the lows, or the challenges rather, the lessons learned, and what are the things that I'm looking forward in the next year or years for as long as I have this YouTube channel. If this is the first time you're tuning in, karibu sana, welcome, bienvenue. It means a lot having you. And for those of you who've been supporting me for the last year, thank you. Months, weeks, thank you. It means a lot. And make sure that you're also sharing this channel with your family and friends so that we can grow. So let's get started. So as some of you know, I started this journey last year, March. To be more specific, March 8th, around Women's Day 2023. So this channel was owned by me and two of my friends who decided to hand it over to me when I moved to Alberta as a gift. So I did not have the courage to start on my own. So I moved back in July 2022, and it took at least 6-7 months before I found the courage to start this channel. Well, not start, but sharing content on my own. And boy, has it been a journey. It's been quite a journey with a lot of triumphant moments, a lot of challenges, but you're gonna hear all of this. What were the success? So when we started this channel with my friends, I think we were sitting at a subscriber count of, I'm tempted to say 200, give or take. And I am happy to see that that family has grown. So since I started this journey on my own, the subscriber count has gone up to 500 plus. I couldn't have done it without y'all. So, and I look at the range of subscribers that I have, different demographics from different geographical regions, different ethnic backgrounds. I cannot thank you all enough. It just speaks volume to what you think of me, what you think of the content. And every time I see the viewer count in some of the videos, how it increases, it means a lot. So thank you. That by far, I think for me, was the hugest milestone for last year, and hopefully will continue growing. Success number 2, which also ties into the subscriber count, is I noticed an increase in engagement. So when I started, I would only have maybe a friend or two who would engage, and over time that engagement increased significantly. Not just on YouTube, I also have an Instagram page that's catered to this YouTube channel. So I have my viewers engaging with me there. Some of them engage with me on YouTube. So seeing that engagement grow in the last year also means a lot, because not everybody is obligated to watch, but you guys still watch. You still provide feedback. You still say the things you like, the things you don't like, which is in the realm of feedback. So that means a lot. And you're gonna hear me say it means a lot, because hey, this journey, I think if I have to summarize, yeah, you know what, let's not get into the summary. And then the third success, which was a lot, but I challenged myself to just keep it to 3 points, was just the personal growth and the impact that this channel has had, or I have had, both how I've been impacted and how I've been able to impact other people. So when I started this channel, I had ideas of what is it that I wanted to do, but boy oh boy, has it ever evolved from the name to the content that I'm sharing. Like I kind of had an idea, but that has been fine-tuned significantly, and for me, I think it speaks to how you guys have impacted me, how you have shaped how much I've grown. And also, it's been very heartwarming to hear people reach out and say, you know what, a certain interview with so and so really impacted me positively. A conversation you had maybe with your mom inspired me to have a certain conversation with my own parents. And even some of the things that I shared that I considered very vulnerable, and looking back, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have talked about my dating life. But people came to me and they're like, hey, having you being courageous talking about your dating life in your late 30s, you inspired me to not only keep trying, but also maybe being open. And I know being open is not everybody's cup of tea. I'm extroverted, but just having those conversations and having people sharing that I haven't impacted them, and also them just impacting me, because I think it's a two-way street. It has been a two-way street. I've had people just share their own journeys. The interviews that I've had, believe it or not, I've learned from people. There's some tidbits that I take, whether it's in my career, whether it's in my personal life, whether it's in this YouTube channel. So the personal growth and the impact has been immense. So thank you. Now, let's go get into the laws or the challenges. I wish somebody told me content creation was not easy. Well, I knew it was difficult, so I'm not gonna lie. I knew it was difficult, but how difficult it was, that I did not know. And had I known what I was signing up for, I would have probably taken a few months. But I also come from the school of thought that rather than wait, just throw yourself in the deep end, and somewhere, somehow you figure out how to swim. And this is very ironic considering that I don't know how to swim. But anyhow, I gotta say tea for this one. So content creation, I think if this is your full-time gig, it's difficult. Add with other layers of responsibility, a job, 2 jobs. And I have so much respect for people who have other commitments besides those. So you have a family, you're going to school. I only have 2 jobs plus this. And let's just say at first, I think I started really well because I had my 1 job and then I had this. And when I decided to add something else to my portfolio, I noticed that I was falling behind. And it's just not the time aspect of it. Trying to create content that's engaging, that resonates with other people. Because what I think is important to me, I've realized this, it's not necessarily important to my viewers. So looking at the demographic, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I have a lot of 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old women who I think would like this, and have I been humbled? There's some of the things that I've put my heart and soul into it, only to realize that, people just said, this is just not my cup of tea. So that has been a challenge, and it's been a very humbling experience for me. And then the second thing is mastering the technical skills. So when I started, I used to edit my own YouTube videos. I would spend hours and hours, and for people who know me know I'm not the most tech savvy person out there. So it took a lot of learning. CapCut, Canva, the captions. I was navigated from one app to the other, and then at one point I was like, you know what, it's okay for you to outsource this to other people who are experts in this, who know what they're doing. So that also required me taking a bit of a financial hit, because editing videos is not an easy job, and as such you pay a lot of money for people to edit your videos. But because it's something that I was committed to seeing grow, I was like, you know what, I just don't have the time, I don't have the skills. And for me, it was one of those personal growth moments that just because you want to do something, if you're not good at it, if you just don't have the time. The technical skills I learned very early on, maybe not 3. I think I went until like maybe 4 or 5 months in, and I was like, this is not working, the lighting, this and that, everything was just off. So I outsourced it, and I'm glad I did, and I'll continue doing that until I think I get to a point where I'm like, okay, maybe it's time for me to learn, hopefully when I have less on my plate. And then the third challenge, which I kind of talked about in the first point, just having an engaging community and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm very, very happy, I'm very, very contented with the subscribers that I've had, the people who are engaging, but just getting to a point of producing content that resonates with them, resonates with the people that are watching. So that has been very humbling, a learning experience for me. Certain content that I'm like, okay, this is good, and then people are like, yeah, no, maybe not. And the content that I'm like, okay, this is not gonna resonate with people, and I was surprised. Talking about my dating life, I was like, people are gonna find this cringe, but believe it or not, am I gonna do that again? I don't know, but never say never. So I'd say 3 challenges and 3 lessons learned, and I had a whole work, but I had to condense them into 3 in the interest of time. So what are the things that I've learned in the last year? Number 1, having a YouTube channel, being a content creator, it's important to be consistent. And I say this, I cannot stress this enough. I say this because when I was consistent with content creation, when I was producing videos on a weekly basis, I noticed that subscriber count increased, the engagement increased. And the moment I started stalling, and the stalling happened, one, because my plate just got full. I have 2 jobs, then I had other things going on in my personal life, so that traction kind of started slowing down a little bit. And as such, I noticed a hit in the engagement with my subscribers or my viewers, and also the not only the engagement, but the people who are viewing the channel. Because people engage with you, the more you're producing quality content that resonates with them. So the moment you disappear, unless you're one of these big celebrities, which I am not, God bless their souls, people don't really care. They move on to the next exciting thing, and I don't blame them. So I've learned to be consistent, and I've challenged myself this year, which my year launched late, as you can probably tell from my last video, to try to at least produce more content, more high quality and resonating content with my that resonates with my viewers. So that's 1. 2, which also ties into what I said, being able to understand what your audience need or what your audience want. So I think at first when I started, I knew nothing about analytics. I was just pumping video after another, and then a friend challenged me. He's like, oh, so what exactly, who's your target audience? Who's viewing your videos? I'm like, what do you mean who's viewing my videos? He's like, do you know who is where is your audience coming from? I did not know that. So I had to sit on YouTube studio and figure out, okay, Fredericton, New Brunswick. So just understanding those demographics and understanding the age group of the people that are watching the videos, and making sure that you're fine-tuning the videos to the audience that that's watching your videos. So that was lesson number 2. And also making sure that you're not just fine-tuning, but you're also being willing to adapt to change, because the algorithms are constantly changing. The YouTube is also changing, the trends are changing. So making sure that you're also adaptable to not only what your viewers are expecting, what your viewers want, but also what YouTube expects of you. So that was lesson number 2. And lesson number 3, all of those are important, but if you don't have a community, if you're not building and fostering a community by having engagement either through your YouTube channels or other platforms such as social media platforms, whether you're on Instagram, or you're on Twitter. I mostly use Instagram and WhatsApp. Being able to anticipate what is it that they want and making sure that you're producing content that resonates with them. So that was lesson number 3. And lesson number 4 was investing in yourself. I think this is something that I took for granted. I just knew I had the gift of public speaking, and I figured that, hey, that's just gonna be enough. But there's a lot that goes into content creation, researching the content, editing videos, which I realized early on is not my cup of tea. And even with the gift of public speaking, it also needs to be honed. So I learned that the hard way, that if you're not investing in yourself, you're not investing in your craft, you're not gonna grow. So I challenged myself this year that I'm going to take a few content creation courses and making sure that I'm really honing this and I'm giving it my all. And then the 5th lesson that I learned on the last lesson is being persistent and being patient. Growth doesn't happen overnight. I'm a very impatient person in some aspects, I think. And I was just expecting I'll do this in a month or 2 and it will blow up. And I've been humbled. That did not happen overnight. I did grow, yes, but not at the rate that I was hoping to. And I'm also partly to blame because 1, I wasn't as consistent as I should be in some of the months. So just being persistent and being patient, and with that also not comparing yourself with other people's success, because we all have different journeys, we all have like different commitments and stuff. So I fell into the trap of looking at what other people are doing, and I'm like, oh my god, they're growing and I'm not growing. But I had to take a step back and ask myself, what's your why? And what's your end goal? And do you have the same resources, or maybe do you have the same time? And if you don't, can you have the same resources and the same time? And when you say resources, it's not just money, but time. Because some of these people do it full time, and I admire them. I'd love to do it someday, but right now I have bills to pay. And this channel has not started generating money yet. So I had to take a step back and say, you know what, Natu? Keep doing this. Someday your time is gonna come. Maybe you're gonna be able to commit to this full time, and maybe it's gonna be a part time because that's something that you're passionate about. But keep doing this. So that said, what are the goals for next year? So we're currently sitting at 510, I think, subscriber count. I'd love to see that number grow. So ideally, I'm being modest. I'd love to see that number double. And I know the onus is on me, one, to make sure that I'm producing high quality content, and I'm also engaging my audience, which I think I'm doing good, but I should do better. So making sure that I'm engaging, I'm soliciting feedback, and I'm making sure that that feedback is being incorporated into the videos that I'm producing. And I'm also producing not only high quality video, but videos that people can engage to, people can relate with. My editor had told me a message that I'll never forget. That he said, when you're creating content, you need to ask yourself two questions. Are you creating content that people can relate to, or are you creating content that people can aspire to? You need to figure out which category you fall in and stick to that. And I think for me, I love to create content that people can relate to. But if people aspire to have the life that I have with things that I do, kudos to you, and I appreciate that. So that's one, growing that subscriber count from 500 to at least 1,000. If it grows more to that, I'll be grateful. If it grows even to like maybe 100 more, I'll still be grateful. But I like to shoot for the stars. I say modest, but I feel like that's more shooting for the star. I'd love to diversify the content that I produce. So right now I kind of have a niche, self-development, and ideally I'm kind of stuck in like professional development. And at times I also self-development in the realm of our personal lives, but I like to diversify more into more content. So maybe family planning, and you're probably gonna hear more of that this year, being that I'm around that age group. I think it's like finances, which I'm really passionate about, but I only had a video last year. Also open to collaborating with other YouTubers, so that's something that I do interviews now, but I mostly do interviews with my guests. I haven't had an opportunity to work with other YouTubers, so that's something that I'd love to do next year in the realm of diversifying content in this channel, amongst many other things. And then last but not least, ties into goal number one. Right now my channel is not monetizing yet because I haven't reached the milestones that I'm supposed to reach. I need to have 4,000 hours, and I think I'm sitting at like 2,000 hours now, give or take, and I need to have a subscriber count of 1,000 before I start seeing those dollar signs. So ideally this year I'm going to work hard towards reaching those milestones and hopefully start generating money with this YouTube channel. And that's it from me. So thank you so much for tuning in as we recount on this 1 year anniversary. And if you have videos that you liked from last year, content that you like, share in the comment section. What is it that you liked? What are the things that you like to see for this coming year? What are the things that you like to see me change? And yeah, let's grow together, let's evolve together. And here's to an amazing 2024, even though we're in March already. Thank you so much. And if you didn't get a chance to celebrate Women's Day, I believe this whole month is International Women's Month. Continue celebrating it and make sure that you celebrate the important women in your life. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.